Nathan froze with a dish towel in his hands. Cassandra stood in the doorway of his kitchen. Her arms crossed over her chest, her eyes locked on his. The air felt thick, heavy. She took 3 steps forward, slow, deliberate. Then she stopped right in front of him, close enough that he could smell her perfume. Something soft and warm that made his chest tighten. Her hands landed on her hips. "Are you scared of me?" The question hung between them like a blade. Nathan's heart hammered against his ribs. His mouth went dry. He couldn't answer. Couldn't breathe, because the truth was so much worse than fear. He wasn't scared of her. He was terrified of how much he needed her. 3 months ago, Nathan's world was small and carefully controlled: work, daycare pickup, dinner, bedtime stories for his daughter, Penny. Repeat. He didn't let people in, didn't ask for help, didn't want complications. Then Cassandra moved into the house next door. He noticed her on a Saturday morning. She was carrying boxes up her front steps. Her dark hair pulled into a messy bun. A smudge of dust on her cheek. She caught him staring and waved. Nathan looked away. He told himself she was just another neighbor, someone he'd nod to occasionally. Nothing more. But life had other plans. 2 weeks later, Penny's daycare closed early because of a burst pipe. Nathan was stuck in a meeting 40 minutes away. Panic clawed at his chest as he dialed number after number. No one answered. Then he saw Cassandra in her front yard, watering flowers. He didn't want to ask, hated asking, but his daughter needed him. Cassandra said yes before he even finished the sentence. She told him to breathe. Told him it wasn't a problem. Told him she'd be happy to help. When Nathan finally got home that evening, he found them on his living room floor. Penny was giggling. Cassandra was building a tower out of blocks. Something in his chest cracked open. Cassandra smiled at him. Easy, natural. "She's wonderful," she said softly, and Nathan knew he was in trouble. After that, Cassandra started showing up in small ways. She'd knock on the door with extra cookies she'd baked. She'd offer to grab Penny from school when Nathan's meetings ran late. She'd sit on his porch in the evenings and chat while Penny played in the yard. It felt effortless. Like she'd always been there. Nathan told himself it was just neighborly kindness, that she was being friendly, that it didn't mean anything. But then the moments started to pile up. The way Cassandra remembered that Penny loved strawberries and brought her a container from the farmer's market. The way she stayed for dinner one night without being asked. And then another night, and another. The way she learned where everything was in his kitchen. How she'd start washing dishes while he tucked Penny into bed. The way his house felt warmer when she was in it. Nathan tried to keep his distance. Tried to remind himself that this wasn't real. That she'd leave eventually. That everyone did. But Cassandra made it so hard. She wasn't trying to replace anyone. Wasn't pushing herself into their lives. She just fit. Like a missing piece he didn't know he'd been searching for. Penny adored her. Started asking when Miss Cass was coming over. Started drawing pictures for her. Started calling her name first when something exciting happened. And Nathan felt himself falling. It terrified him. Because this wasn't supposed to happen. He wasn't supposed to need anyone. Wasn't supposed to let anyone get close. His life was fine. Manageable. Safe. But Cassandra made him want more. She made him want mornings where someone else made coffee. Evenings where laughter filled the rooms. Nights where he didn't fall asleep alone. She made him want a family again. And that was the most dangerous thing of all. If you've ever felt scared to let someone in, hit that like button. You're not alone in this. So Nathan did what he always did. He pulled back. He started declining her offers to help. Started making excuses when she invited them over. Started building walls between them, even though it hurt. Cassandra noticed. Of course she did. Her smiles became more hesitant. Her visits less frequent. But she didn't disappear. She kept showing up. Kept trying. Kept looking at him with those eyes that saw straight through every defense he built. And Nathan hated himself for pushing her away. But he hated the idea of losing her even more. So he stayed trapped, caught between wanting her and fearing her. Between reaching out and running away. Until tonight. Until she cornered him in his own kitchen and asked the one question he couldn't escape. "Are you scared of me?" The moments between them were small at first. Almost invisible. But they accumulated like rainfall, drop by drop, until Nathan was drowning in them. There was the Tuesday evening when Cassandra stayed for dinner. She sat across from him at the kitchen table. Penny chattered between them about her day at school. The light from the window caught in Cassandra's hair, made it shine like copper. She laughed at something Penny said, a real laugh. The kind that made her eyes crinkle at the corners. Nathan's chest tightened. This felt like a family, like home. He excused himself early that night. Said he had work to do. Cassandra's smile faltered, but she didn't question him. Then there was the Saturday when his sink started leaking. Nathan was on his back under the cabinet, water dripping onto his shirt, tools scattered around him. Cassandra appeared in the doorway. Asked if he needed help. He said no. She ignored him and knelt down beside him anyway. Handed him the wrench before he asked for it. Her shoulder brushed against his in the tight space. Nathan's breath caught. "You don't have to do everything alone," she said softly. But he did. He had to. Because needing people meant giving them the power to destroy you. So he fixed the sink quickly. Stood up. Put distance between them. Cassandra watched him with something sad in her eyes. The moments kept coming. Movie nights where Penny fell asleep between them on the couch. Where Cassandra's hand rested so close to his on the cushion. Where Nathan wanted desperately to reach over and lace their fingers together. But he never did. Mornings when Cassandra brought over coffee. When she'd stand in his kitchen in her pajamas and messy hair. When she looked so beautiful it hurt, Nathan always took the coffee. Always thanked her. Always closed the door before he could ask her to stay. Drop a comment if you've ever wanted something you were too afraid to reach for. The push and pull became a rhythm, a painful dance where neither of them knew the steps. Cassandra would lean in. Nathan would pull back. She'd smile at him with hope in her eyes. He'd look away. She'd brush her hand against his. He'd step out of reach. And every time he retreated, he saw the hurt flash across her face. It gutted him. But he couldn't stop. Because getting close to her meant risking everything. Meant handing her his heart and trusting she wouldn't crush it. Nathan didn't know how to do that anymore. His ex-wife had taught him that love was temporary. That promises meant nothing. That the people you needed most would leave you bleeding and alone. So he kept Cassandra at arm's length. Even though it was killing him. Even though Penny kept asking why Miss Cass seemed sad lately. Even though his house felt cold and empty on the nights she didn't come over. There was one moment that almost broke him. A Thursday evening. Rain drumming against the windows. Penny was at a sleepover. Cassandra had stopped by earlier to drop off a book she'd borrowed. She lingered at the door. Her jacket dotted with raindrops. "Nathan," she said quietly, "can I ask you something?" His throat went tight. "Sure. Did I do something wrong?" The question cracked him open. "No," he said quickly. "God, no. You've been incredible. Then why does it feel like you're always running from me?" He didn't have an answer. Not one he could say out loud. The silence stretched between them. Painful. Raw. Cassandra nodded slowly. Like she understood something he didn't. "Okay," she whispered. She turned to leave. Nathan almost called her back. Almost reached for her. Almost told her the truth. But fear locked the words in his throat. He let her walk away. That night, he lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, hating himself. Hating his cowardice. Knowing he was losing her. Knowing he was the one pushing her away. But not knowing how to stop. The tension between them grew thicker, heavier. Every interaction felt loaded, dangerous, like they were both standing on the edge of something they couldn't come back from. Cassandra's visits became less frequent. Her smiles more guarded. She was protecting herself. Nathan couldn't blame her, but it hurt worse than anything. Because he was getting exactly what he thought he wanted. Distance, safety, control. And it felt like dying. Then came the night she cornered him in the kitchen. The night she finally demanded an answer. The night everything changed. Nathan had reasons for his walls. Good reasons. The kind carved into your bones by betrayal. Her name was Jennifer. He didn't like thinking about her. Didn't like saying her name. Didn't like remembering the man he used to be before she destroyed him. But standing in his kitchen, with Cassandra's question hanging in the air, the memories came flooding back. He'd met Jennifer in college. Fell hard and fast. The kind of love that felt invincible. They got married, young. Too young, probably. But Nathan believed in forever, believed in vows and promises and building a life together. When Jennifer got pregnant with Penny, he thought his world was complete. He was wrong. The first year after Penny was born was hard. Sleepless nights, constant crying. The exhaustion that came with new parenthood. But Nathan loved it. Loved being a father. Loved his little family. He didn't notice Jennifer pulling away. Didn't see the signs, the distance in her eyes, the way she stopped reaching for him. The coldness that crept into their bed. He was too busy with work and diapers and trying to hold everything together. Then Penny turned too. Nathan woke up one morning and rolled over to kiss his wife. The bed was empty. At first, he thought she was in the bathroom or making coffee downstairs. Then he saw the note on her pillow, 5 sentences that ripped his life apart. I can't do this anymore. I'm not meant to be a mother. I'm not meant for this life. Don't try to find me. I'm sorry. That was it. No explanation. No goodbye. No forwarding address. Just gone. Like their 5 years together meant nothing. Like their daughter meant nothing. Like he meant nothing. Nathan remembered sitting on the edge of the bed, the note shaking in his hands. Penny crying from her crib down the hall. He remembered the way his chest caved in, the way he couldn't breathe, the way his entire world tilted sideways. But he didn't have time to fall apart because Penny needed him. So he got up, changed her diaper, made her breakfast, held her while she asked for mama, and he buried his pain so deep he sometimes forgot it was there. If you've ever had to be strong when you were breaking inside, subscribe. This story is for you. The months that followed were brutal. Nathan learned to be both mother and father, learned to braid hair and pack lunches and soothe nightmares. He learned to smile even when his heart was shattered, learned to sing lullabies even when his voice cracked, learned to be everything Penny needed. But he never learned how to trust again. Jennifer's abandonment taught him a lesson he couldn't unlearn, that love was conditional, that people left, that no matter how much you gave, it was never enough, that he was never enough. The thought lived in his chest like a stone. He threw himself into being a good father, into providing for Penny, into making sure she never felt the hole her mother left behind. He didn't date, didn't let anyone close, didn't even consider the possibility, until Cassandra. She showed up in his life like sunlight through a crack in the wall. Warm, gentle, impossible to ignore. And Nathan felt something he thought was dead start to wake up inside him. It terrified him, because wanting Cassandra meant risking everything, meant opening himself up to that kind of pain again, meant trusting someone with his heart when the last person he trusted had crushed it into dust. He couldn't survive that again, wouldn't survive it. So he built walls, high and thick and reinforced with fear. Every time Cassandra got close, he remembered the empty bed, the note, the abandonment. Every time she smiled at him, he heard Jennifer's voice saying she couldn't do this anymore. Every time he thought about reaching for her, he felt Penny's tiny hand in his on those first mornings alone. When she kept asking where Mommy went, he couldn't do that to his daughter again. Couldn't bring someone into their lives just to watch them leave. Couldn't make Penny love someone who might disappear. And he couldn't survive losing Cassandra, so he pushed her away. Even though it hurt. Even though he was falling for her. Even though she made him feel alive again, because loving her felt like standing on the edge of a cliff. One wrong step and he'd lose everything. Agon. Are you scared of me? The question still hung in the air between them. Nathan set down the dish towel. His hands were shaking. Cassandra, because that's what it feels like, she continued. Her voice was steady but her eyes were bright. It feels like every time I get close, you run. Like I'm something dangerous. He swallowed hard. It's not like that. Then what is it like, Nathan? She stepped closer. He could see the hurt in her face now, raw and undeniable. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me why you look at me like I matter and then push me away. Tell me why, because you terrify me. The words ripped out of him before he could stop them. Cassandra froze. Nathan's chest heaved. 5 months of holding everything in came pouring out. You terrify me, Cass. Not because of who you are, because of how much I need you. Her lips parted in surprise. I wake up and the first thing I think about is whether you'll come over. Penny talks about you constantly. You're in my kitchen, my living room, my head, everywhere, and it scares the hell out of me. Why? She whispered. Because needing people ends badly for me. His voice cracked. Because the last person I needed like this left me with a 2-year-old and a note on the pillow. Because I can't. He stopped, pressed his palms against his eyes. I can't go through that again. The silence that followed was deafening. When Nathan finally looked up, Cassandra's face was wet with tears. I'm not her, she said quietly. I know. Do you? She stepped forward until they were inches apart. Because I have been showing up for you for 3 months. I've been here for Penny, for you, every single day. And you still think I'm going to disappear? Nathan's throat closed. I'm in love with you, Nathan. The world tilted. I've been in love with you for weeks, maybe longer. I love the way you read to Penny with different voices. I love how you burn toast every morning. I love that you always put everyone else first even when you're exhausted. Her hands came up to his chest, right over his racing heart. I love you, and I'm not going anywhere. Nathan couldn't breathe. Everything he wanted was standing right in front of him, offering herself freely. No conditions, no reservations. All he had to do was say it back, tell her he loved her too, that she made his world brighter, that he wanted this, wanted her, but the words wouldn't come. Fear had its hand around his throat. Comment below if you've ever been too scared to say what you really feel. Cassandra watched his face. Waiting, the hope in her eyes began to dim. Say something, she whispered. Cass, He shook his head helplessly. I can't. She stepped back like he'd slapped her. You can't or you won't. I don't know. His voice broke. I don't know how to do this, how to trust this, how to believe it won't all fall apart. So you'd rather push me away, live in fear, keep both of us miserable? I'm trying to protect. Protect who, Nathan? Me? Penny? Or yourself? The truth of it cut deep. He was protecting himself, hiding behind his daughter and his past, using his pain as an excuse to avoid risk. Cassandra wiped her eyes. When she spoke again, her voice was different, colder, resolved. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep showing up just to have you shut me out. I can't keep loving someone who won't let himself love me back. Panic flared in Nathan's chest. What are you saying? I'm saying you need to decide. She looked at him with devastating clarity. Either you let me in for real or I walk away. For good, Cass. I mean it, Nathan. I'm not going to be your maybe, your someday, your what if. Her hands trembled, but her jaw was set. I deserve someone who isn't afraid of loving me. And Penny deserves better than watching you keep people at arm's length. She moved toward the door. Nathan's heart hammered against his ribs. Every instinct screamed at him to reach for her, to pull her back, to tell her everything she needed to hear, but his feet stayed planted, his mouth stayed closed. Cassandra paused at the doorway, looked back at him one more time. You have until tomorrow night. Then I'm done waiting. The door clicked shut behind her, and Nathan stood alone in his kitchen, surrounded by the ruins of his own cowardice. The silence was suffocating. He'd finally told her the truth, but he still couldn't give her what she needed, and now he was going to lose her anyway. The next morning, Cassandra's car was gone before Nathan woke up. He told himself it didn't matter. He was wrong. By noon, Penny had asked about Miss Cass 3 times. Is she coming over today, Daddy? Nathan poured cereal into a bowl. Not today, sweetheart. Tomorrow. His chest tightened. I don't know. Penny's face fell. She poked at her breakfast without eating. Nathan felt like the worst father in the world. That evening, he made dinner alone. The kitchen felt too quiet, too empty. He kept glancing at the door, waiting for a knock that didn't come. It didn't come the next day either, or the day after that. Cassandra's house stayed dark. Her car left early and came back late. She didn't wave when she saw him, didn't smile. She was doing exactly what she said she'd do, pulling away, and it was destroying him. Penny stopped asking where Miss Cass was, but Nathan saw the way she looked at Cassandra's house. The sadness in her small face. She'd drawn a picture at school. 3 stick figures holding hands. Her, Nathan, Cassandra. She hung it on the fridge without a word. Nathan stared at it every morning while making coffee. The picture felt like an accusation. Work became unbearable. Nathan couldn't focus, couldn't think about anything except Cassandra's ultimatum. 24 hours, she'd said. That deadline had passed 2 days ago. He'd made his choice through silence, and now he was living with the consequences. Hit that like button if you've ever realized what you had only after you lost it. The house felt wrong without her. The mornings were too quiet. No knock at the door, no coffee delivered with a smile. No Cassandra appearing in his kitchen like she belonged there, because she did belong there. Nathan saw that now. Too late. The evenings were worse. He'd cook dinner and set 3 plates out of habit, then stare at the extra one. Put it back in the cupboard. Penny would eat in silence, then ask to be excused early. She'd sit by her bedroom window, looking at Cassandra's house, waiting for someone who wasn't coming. Nathan wanted to fix it, wanted to explain. But how could he explain something he didn't understand himself? How could he tell his 6-year-old daughter that he was too broken to accept love? The weekend was torture. Saturday morning, Nathan saw Cassandra loading groceries from her car. Their eyes met across the driveway. She looked tired, sad. Nathan raised his hand in a small wave. Cassandra looked away, went inside, closed the door. It felt like a knife between his ribs. Penny saw it too. She pressed her hand against the window. "Daddy, is Miss Cass mad at us?" "No, baby. She's not mad. Then why won't she come over anymore?" Nathan knelt down beside his daughter, brushed her hair back from her face. "Sometimes grown-ups make mistakes, and sometimes those mistakes hurt people we care about." "Did you make a mistake?" His throat burned. "Yeah, I did." "Can you say sorry? If only it were that simple." Sunday night, Nathan couldn't sleep. He lay in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying everything. Every moment with Cassandra, every smile, every laugh, every time she looked at him like he was worth something. Every time he pushed her away, he thought about Jennifer, about the note, about the fear that had controlled him for 4 years. Then he thought about Cassandra's face in his kitchen, the tears on her cheeks, the love in her voice. "I'm not going anywhere." She'd offered him everything, and he'd given her nothing, because he was afraid. But what was he really afraid of? Losing her? He'd already lost her. Getting hurt? This hurt worse than anything Jennifer had done. Not being enough? Cassandra had never made him feel like he wasn't enough. Only he did that to himself. The truth settled over him like ice water. He wasn't protecting himself from pain. He was guaranteeing it. By pushing Cassandra away, he'd created the exact outcome he feared most. She was gone, not because she stopped loving him, not because she abandoned him, but because he'd been too much of a coward to fight for her. Subscribe if you believe in second chances and fighting for what matters. Nathan sat up in bed. His heart was racing, his hands shaking. Tomorrow was Monday, another workday, another evening alone, another night of Penny's sad eyes and his empty house. He couldn't do it, couldn't live like this, couldn't let fear win, couldn't lose the best thing that ever happened to him without trying. Cassandra had given him a choice, fear or love, safety or risk, walls or family. Nathan finally knew his answer. He just hoped he wasn't too late. Nathan didn't wait until morning. He couldn't. At 11:30 on Sunday night, he called his neighbor Mrs. Chen. Asked if she could sit with Penny for 20 minutes. She agreed without questions. 10 minutes later, Nathan was standing on his front porch. The sky had opened up. Rain poured down in sheets. Thunder rumbled in the distance. He didn't care. He crossed his yard, then Cassandra's. Took the steps 2 at a time. His fist hit her door 3 times. He waited, heart hammering. Rain soaking through his shirt. The porch light flicked on. The door opened. Cassandra stood there in pajama pants and an oversized sweater. Her hair was down. Her eyes were red. She'd been crying. "Nathan?" Her voice was hoarse. "What are you?" "I'm scared," he blurted out. She blinked. "You asked if I was scared of you. The answer is yes. I'm terrified. But not for the reasons you think." Rain dripped from his hair down his face. "I'm not scared of you leaving. I'm scared of how much I need you. I'm scared that I've already fallen so deep that losing you would break me. I'm scared that I'm not enough, that I'll fail you the way I failed my marriage." His voice cracked. "But I'm more scared of living without you." Cassandra's hand came to her mouth. "These past few days have been hell. The house is empty. Penny is heartbroken. I can't sleep, can't eat, can't think about anything except how badly I messed this up." He stepped closer. Rain poured between them. "You were right. I was protecting myself, hiding behind my past, using my fear as an excuse to push away the best thing that's ever happened to me. Nathan, I love you, Cass." The words came out raw, desperate, true. "I love the way you show up, the way you care about Penny, the way you fit into our lives like you were always meant to be there. I love your laugh, your stubbornness, the way you call me out when I'm being an idiot." Tears streamed down Cassandra's face. "I love you, and I'm done running. I'm done being afraid. I'm done choosing safety over the chance to be happy." His hands were shaking. "I know I don't deserve another chance. I know I hurt you. But if you'll have me, I'm all in. No more walls. No more pushing you away." He took a breath. "I want this. I want you. I want us to be a family, a real one." The silence stretched. Cassandra stared at him, rain and tears mixing on both their faces. Then she grabbed his shirt and pulled him inside. The door slammed shut behind them. "You're an idiot," she said. "I know, you made me wait, made me cry, made me think I wasn't enough. I'm sorry. God, Cass, I'm so sorry." Her hands came up to his face, cupped his jaw. "Say it again. I love you, again. I love you. I love you. I'll say it every day for the rest of my life if you let me." Cassandra smiled through her tears. "You're soaking wet. I don't care. You're dripping on my floor. I still don't care." She laughed, that beautiful laugh he'd missed so desperately. Then she kissed him, And Nathan felt every wall he'd built come crashing down. The kiss was soft at first, tentative, then deeper, like they were both making up for lost time. When they finally pulled apart, Cassandra rested her forehead against his. "I love you too," she whispered. "Even though you drive me crazy, I'll spend the rest of my life making this up to you. I'm going to hold you to that." If this story touched your heart, subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear it. They stood in her entryway, dripping and breathless, and finally honest. "Penny's going to be so happy," Cassandra said softly. Nathan's chest tightened with emotion. "She's been drawing pictures of the three of us." "I know. She showed me before." Cassandra's quote caught. "Before everything. No more befores. Just us. Moving forward." She nodded, smiled, kissed him again. Outside, the rain continued to fall, but inside, everything was warm. Nathan had spent 4 years building walls. It took one brave woman to show him that love was worth the risk. That family wasn't about perfection. It was about showing up, being vulnerable, choosing each other even when it was scary, especially when it was scary. He wasn't afraid anymore. He was home. If you loved Nathan and Cassandra's story, don't forget to like, comment what moment hit you hardest, and subscribe for more emotional stories about love, fear, and second chances. Your support means everything.